What up, fam? Welcome back to PG Family Chronicles. Uh, Today's episode, we're just going to talk about life. So, we're just going to talk about life and where we are, if we accomplished anything that we thought we were going to do since January, if we need to change anything. Um, yeah, I'll let you start.
Um, so as far as like New Year's resolutions, I purposed in my heart not to make any. I didn't so I knew with this upcoming year of transition of us living together and Shawnee leaving and people coming and going, I just decided I wasn't gonna make any New Year's resolutions because I wasn't trying to like have to focus on my resolutions along with everything else. I plain I just was being lazy.
Sorry to hear that.
I normally might do a resolution, but it's usually like, oh, I'll go to the gym and work out, which doesn't. As far as New Year resolutions, I just didn't make any this year. Also, because I wasn't sure how the economy would work this year with our wonderful new president. So I just wasn't about to make a resolution and then be disappointed that I didn't succeed in anything that I wanted to succeed in. Do I still have goals for the year? Yes and no. I have financial goals, but I feel like there's still financial goals that I have no matter what because I'm broke and everything's expensive. Like going to the grocery store and getting two things cost $70. It doesn't make sense. But that is the world we live in right now.
Okay. Well, words mean things. So, you said you didn't set any resolutions, but you've had goals. Are resolutions not goals to you?
Yes and no. I feel like the goals I set are just like the goals I set for life. They're automatically just what I want. I feel like the resolutions I have for the year are something that like I set for that year. Like I want to accomplish in that year. My goals are just goals I have. Like I want to make $1 million or something. I know it's gonna take time. I'm not gonna set that in a year because I'm not there yet.
Okay.
But what about you and your resolutions?
Uh, I didn't really set any, but for different reasons. I didn't like look at it and go, this year is going to be hectic and not really focusing on myself. I guess, similar to your idea of goals, um, I knew that all the things that I wanted to accomplish, I couldn't do this year, and it would bleed into the next year. So instead of a this year resolution, I just have tasks that I'm trying to complete that will show fruit in 26. I've been revitalizing them in the last few weeks or so. Moving into the house was a lot larger distraction than I initially believed it would be. I think distraction maybe makes it sound worse than it is, but I was taken off the path a lot more than I thought that it would be. Kids needed a lot more attention than I thought they would need. Things were more expensive than I thought they would be.
Facts.
Um, there's a lot less space than I thought there would be. Just a really huge, and I think initially my biggest issue was that I'm used to being right, as self-serving as it sounds. I can usually look at a situation, I can see where it's going, I make my decisions, and I move in, and win, lose, or indifferent, I kind of know what's coming. Uh, Lots of surprises here, and
Hmm.
became frustrated and almost depressed with my inability to foresee some of that stuff. And some of it I did foresee, and I was frustrated that I allowed us to run into it anyways. Like, with initially moving, I was buying the tote boxes, and then Shanice was like, "We're gonna buy too many. You're buying too many," and then we didn't have enough, and I was frustrated that I didn't follow through with that. And that's a small example of a couple other situations that were like that. Where, um, I don't want to say I shouldn't have taken the counsel. I always take the counsel, but I should have just kind of stood firm in what I was seeing because I knew that I was seeing the field in a way that other people weren't seeing it. And I just didn't do it.
I get that. To give you guys an example, we all moved into one house. Not sure if we've actually shared that on the channel. Um, but we all moved into one house, and there's there was 9 of us. Now there's 8 of us all living in one beautiful house all together. It's different having like everyone together, but I actually like it. Like I like pretending like I have a big family. I've always wanted a big family, but like I don't actually have to have a big family. So it's great. um, in my head, like if you ask Andrew, he said that I wanted 8 kids. Not ever. Um, but having all 5 kids all together, like it gives me that like, oh, I have a big family with 5 kids, but they're not all my 5 kids that came out of my body. Um, so it helps with the realization that I don't actually want 5 kids because it's a lot. And each and every one of them have a different personality, a different attitude, a different preference of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you make the breakfast wrong for one person, then the other person can't eat because it's wrong and the world is ending. It's stressful, but I love it at the same time.
I think I'm kind of neutral. I end up not dealing with the kids as often because it's like as 1930s as it sounds, I'm off at work. So when I come back, like dinner is already made for the most part, or it's being made. So I don't really deal with the fights of like what we're gonna have. And but also I don't tolerate it as much. Like
Sure.
if you make spaghetti, then spaghetti is what it is. And if they're not eating spaghetti, then they're eating nothing. Um,
You do. You do. Be like, well, then you're going to be hungry.
yeah. But and there is an aspect of I was raised this way, but also just um, kind of how I see the world. Uh, it's a respect thing. So like I didn't spend any money or time or effort to make the dinner, and you did, and I appreciate that. And so like I show that thanks by not griping about it and eating it. And the only reason that I shouldn't eat it is if I am allergic or if it's not necessarily allergies, but like it makes me sick, like Alfredo.
Yeah. Which I did make like 2 days ago, forgetting that Alfredo makes you sick. And I felt like a total ass, by the way. I was like, he ate the food and he's gonna be sick. And mom's like, well, did he say anything about it? I was like, I don't know. He
Yeah,
might have. I don't know.
yeah. I took just a little to test it, and like I let it settle, and I didn't feel sick. I had a little bit more. It was good.
But I did totally. I was like, and Andrew was like, what's wrong? I was like, he doesn't eat Alfredo, and I made Alfredo. I'm a horrible sister-in-law. Man, he's gonna hate me. He was like, but he ate it. I was like, oh, that makes me feel less like a horrible person. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, likely to. I'll eat it or I won't eat it. But like if you make something and I don't eat it, it is also like I don't take it as a personal reflection of you. It is either something I can't eat or maybe I am choosing not to eat it for like caloric reasons. So I also like I don't want that to be seen as a you cooked the wrong meal.
I get you.
Sometimes I need something different, and that's just because I'm trying to keep my job.
Like that. There are times where, like, I'll make smothered chicken and I'm like, man, I should make something healthier because, like, you have to go to work. But I've already made the smothered chicken, so hopefully
Yeah,
the smothered chicken
yeah,
doesn't.
I don't
Like,
because I don't think that everyone in the house do that. Like, smothered chicken in and of itself is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just
no,
getting up. I'm getting up in age, and it doesn't burn as quickly as it used to.
like 30. Granted,
And it was
there was a moment where I thought 30 was old, but you're like 30, you're still young.
yeah. I'm not saying like I need to like file for AARP. I'm just saying that the metabolism is slowing down. It doesn't burn as quickly. I hold on to weight faster. I gain weight faster than I did in my 20s. So I have to be a lot more careful about what I ingest.
Oh, there was a day I asked Clay about like everyone's ages. He said dad was 100, 150.
Hmm.
Mom was 100. You and Shanice were 50. KJ was 12 because he still lives with mom and dad. And I was 30. Andrew's 30. And then, like, he said, everyone else, like, the kids' ages. And I was like, do I look like I'm 30, first of all? A little shade, but okay. But then I told mom and dad, I was like, apparently you're 150 and 100. And dad was like, well, damn, I look good then. I was like,
Yeah,
okay. But it was so hilarious. He was like, yeah, Bobo's like, he got gray hair, so he has to be like 100, right? And I was like,
yeah, kid logic.
yeah.
And also, you said like, do I look 30? But what's 5 years from 30 for for a 7 year old, 6, 7 year old?
Okay. It's a lot, okay? 5 years is
Okay,
a lot. A lot can happen in 5 years. It's
hold on to that.
a lot. I will.
Okay, so what is something that you did accomplish this year that you're like proud of?
Everyone's still alive.
Is that an accomplishment?
Yes. The day to day with these wonderful blessings that we have, it's amazing. I realize, granted, I get it from dad. I have no patience like half the time, and it takes a lot to just be like, they're 7, 5, 3, and about to be 2. They don't have the common sense that I expect them to have at moments where I'm like, if your foot hurts, sit down. Sit down. But it hurts to sit. I can't. I can't do it. Just sit down, please. Or the boys sometimes don't know how to use their words and they just cry, and I'm like, well, what is wrong with you? What does that mean?
Yeah, Jax is good for that.
Jackson has now gotten to where, like, if he's cried and tried to get me to understand something, he'll just, and I'm
Yeah,
like, what? Like, what do you want? You want me to follow you? Okay,
yeah, yeah.
I'm
He
sorry.
walks you to what he wants, so you can point at it.
Yeah.
I accept this because it is language.
Yeah,
Um,
I take it. It takes me a while to realize, like, he's actually trying to get me to get something sometimes, because then there's someone jumping on the couch or running up the stairs or beating their sister with the chair. Just, it takes me.
yeah,
And the beating with the chair, that happens twice a day, by the way. I didn't know Aaron or Jackson could actually lift the chair.
I mean, and I,
Yeah, but I didn't expect him to, like, whack someone, like,
oh, they can like swing it, lift it.
yes. Like, I'm like, oh, y'all are low key strong. Okay, calm down. Let's
Hmm.
change our actions. divert to something else. But then it's funny because Anaya is like the little I want to be mommy and wants to take care of them. But the second, let's say me or you try and get the boys and the boys start crying, she'll be like, "Why are you touching them? Who told you you could make them cry?" And I'm like, "I'm just trying to get the water bottle so it's not on the floor. Sorry, but why?" Like, you know what? Go away. But I digress. What about you? Have you accomplished anything?
Or I guess I didn't accomplish anything alone. I do accept it as a victory getting the boys to Atlanta for spring break. Um, for multiple reasons. Like Shanice needed to get away. I need the boys to see that side of the family. We didn't see everybody, but we saw the most important people. Um, I guess I also kind of needed to get away, and it was a nice reset.
I should probably take vacations more often, but vacations are so expensive. And like I said, I got a dollar to my name right now. Like I don't want to go buy a plane ticket that costs $300-400 just to go on vacation. Like I'm
Yeah,
okay.
I think probably what everyone can benefit from, and what I'm trying to work with Shanice to get towards is reframing what a vacation is. Um, we tend to think that it's get off of work, spend a bunch of money, theme park,
Oh
and
no.
it doesn't have to be. It can be a weekend as long as you are like mentally, spiritually, emotionally are getting away. It could be a trip to like Mount Rainier.
Sure.
Um, like we need to focus on the internal like retreat aspect of vacations, and I think that we'll do better. Especially like while I'm working towards getting out, Shanice plans on staying in. Like there's not really off time for officers in the military,
Yeah.
and not just officers, for anybody, for people within the military. There are some 4-day weekends and stuff, but as you go up in rank, you potentially get less and less of that just by virtue of being in charge. Emergencies that call, that happen, the calls come to you. If things are happening in the world, those briefs, you receive them to help make decisions about like what the unit should do. And so if you're like, well, I'm going to wait until everyone gets the 2 weeks off, then you'll end up with just summer and Christmas, which is probably not a mental, emotional, sustainable model.
My sister's a major. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. That's an accomplishment for me because
That's an accomplishment for you.
yes, you've met
Why
Shanice.
so?
You've met Shanice. It's an accomplishment for all of us.
I disagree.
um,
Which is not to take away from it. Like I think it's a huge deal. Like I'm proud of Shanice and I'm glad that she made it. I don't see it as my accomplishment.
her accomplishments are my accomplishments. My accomplishments are my accomplishments.
Okay.
Where she makes major, I make bread from scratch. There we go. Woo! I will one day. One that maybe that'll be my the rest of 2025 goal is to make bread from scratch.
Just because?
Yeah.
Or so what I mean by that is like is there an end goal? Like are you want to sell bread?
Oh no, absolutely. No. After baking the cake with clay, I'm not about that life of like being a baker. But making a bread, like a loaf, maybe a week, then we don't have to pay for our bread. Like we'll already have bread. Um, if I had a chicken, I don't know who would take care of the chicken, but we would have eggs. I don't do chickens. I don't do raw chicken anyway, so I already don't like chickens. But I think it would be cool to have like two chickens and we have our own eggs and we don't have to pay for eggs. I think that life of like bake your own bread, have eggs, or like get a whole cow butchered. I think that's great. I think it is amazing, like upfront cost to go get a whole cow butchered and then put it in the deep freeze, and then you have meat for like the year. I told Dad that I want a half cow for Christmas. He laughed, but I think that would be cool. I don't know what a half a cow will
Yeah,
give you, but
I probably disagree. I agree with the concept of it, and I do think that it's cool. Like, I'm not saying I disagree with the lifestyle, but it is not for me.
oh,
Um, the few hours, what I'll say 3, 4 tops when we went to down to Georgia and I visited my best friend. He has a small farm is probably not the word for it, but like they grow some stuff. They have a vegetable garden, they have chickens, and while we were there, they made a meal for us from scratch. They like made lasagna, and it was like all the stuff from like their garden, like the the different spices and stuff that they used, and some of the meat, and they gave us some eggs, and that was really cool. And we watched them go like pick things from the garden to prepare this, and they made bread from scratch to go with the lasagna. And I was like, man, this is really great for you. I'm so happy that you could live this life. He's also talked about this since we were in school. Like, I'm gonna have my land and I'm gonna have chickens, and he made it. And that's great. It's not my life. Um, I need someone to farm it for me,
yeah.
or I need to go to the store.
I don't have to pay for the store, but I wouldn't mind having like maybe a ranch hand or something. Like you can go get the eggs from the chickens so I don't get beat up by chickens. I already get beat up by kids. I'm not getting beat up by chickens.
It's a lot of extra money.
It probably is. But
Yeah, like so. Basically, what you're saying is, I don't want to go to the store, but now I want to pay someone to be the middleman for me and pick the stuff. At that point, you should just go to the store. But I mean, if you're really balling like that, then hey, then give somebody a job. I'm all about putting people to work.
I saw someone like somewhere around here they had eggs for sale and it was only like $1. I was so tempted to stop. But it was like from their farm, like from their chickens. Like eggs were like $6 for like 6 eggs. And you're selling a whole dozen for $1.
Yeah, that feels weird. Like, are they old eggs? Are they like hey, I buy these eggs and I need to use them today? Like,
I think Andrew had stopped one day and the lady was like, "We have 50 chickens. We don't need the eggs that they produce. So why am I going to, like, each chicken is making like 12 eggs." I was like, "A day?" She's like, "Yeah, a day. We don't need this many eggs."
are they balling?
She's like, "If I can help out a little bit, it's only $1. Take the eggs because I don't need them." I was like, "Oh,
Cool.
oh, well, I potentially technically have a job." I say potentially because scheduling, gotta figure out the schedule because all the kids are here. But I mean, over the summer it'll be fine because most of the kids won't be here. But all the kids are back. Gotta figure that out. But got a job. Yay.
There's yeah, you've been saying that. Like, okay, like you haven't really talked about it, so I haven't asked.
I haven't really talked about it mostly because I'm like, at first, well, today I found out that like they offered me the job. At first, it was just like interviews. I had 2 interviews to go through, and then today they were like, "Hey, we think you'll be great. You find working," and I was like, "Yeah, I want to work, but I also realize like daycare is expensive, so we'll see." 'cause ain't nobody working for daycare. I'm not just gonna have a job just to pay for daycare. That defeats the whole entire purpose.
I mean, it's a thing and it happens.
True, but no. And mom's like, "You're not about to have a job just to pay for daycare. I've been there. We're not doing it again." And I was like, "I have what?"
We're not doing it.
I was like,
So, ooh, this
"Okay,
got real, mom.
like nice to know we're in this together." But yeah, she was like, "You need to figure out the scheduling and how it's gonna work." And I was like, "Okay, because we're not doing this again." I was like, "Just calm down. Stop yelling at me. Give me a moment to think and breathe." Sorry. Anyway, potentially have a job. We'll see what
Okay.
happens.
All right. I think that kind of wraps up mid month. Um, so, yeah, hopefully you guys are doing better than we are in terms of whatever you started doing in January. Celebrate your wins, all of them. Go ahead and build up the dopamine that gets you to redo the things so you can be a habitual winner. Have fun, but not too much fun. Keep it PG.
Bye.